Namaste. My name is Stella Oliveira, founder of the Atman Yoga Center, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here today to our Cultivating Self-Acceptance. Yeah, that's a big topic, isn't it? There are different ways to address cultivating self-acceptance, and many of them are very valid. Today, we will focus a little bit more on the lenses of yoga, right? And how we can, using the teachings and the tools that yoga offers us, develop, cultivate that self-acceptance, make it stronger. Well, let's think about this for a little bit. In life, we have a role, right? We have a name, we have different things we do, and then we have other roles. Maybe our main role is, let's say for some, maybe to be a mother, or to be an engineer, or whatever it is, that main role that you, when you think of yourself, you think of that. And you go on with life, you go through life with all, doing that very important role, plus many others that life has for you. As we grow, those roles seem to expand along with it, right? But then, we have a very powerful tool also, and that is our mind. Now, our mind is one that sometimes takes over, and then we forget. We forget something that we came here as humans to realize, to appreciate, and that is the bigger self, the self with a capital S, the infinite self, the true self. All of us are also our true self. Yes, we have all the roles, and they are important in this life. And sometimes our mind tells us, that we're not good enough, that we are a failure. We've all been there. But if we can start appreciating that relationship of the bigger self, of the self with capital S, of the true self with the smaller self, then we will be able to turn that process around, because we'll realize that's our mind. That's not me. That's not who I am. So that's where it's an interesting relationship. And if you haven't already done so, I invite you to begin. Every time a thought comes to you about yourself, to kind of remove yourself from that thought and criticize it with love. Criticize it by saying, am I really not good enough? Or could I accept that I am a human? And humans sometimes do make mistakes. Humans do learn from their mistakes also. So there is value in sometimes having a failure, right? Scientists will be the first ones to tell you that. Many discoveries have been made through that initial failure. They looked like a failure, but it really was growth. It really allowed knowledge to expand. Well, take a step back. See if you can begin to appreciate whom you truly are. Enjoy the process versus being tied to the result. Because life is the process. It's a journey. It's that journey that eventually you will achieve. Or not. Whatever that original goal was. Because sometimes life meanders, just like a river. And yes, we go different directions sometimes. One of the beauties is the law of probably in Latin, we say live arbitrium, right? We have choices. And so with those choices, the outcomes can also change. One of the choices we have is to begin to observe our mind. So through yoga, we can mindfully take a step back from the mind. Watch the mind. Observe the mind. And not always believe in it. Be that critic. Listen, but be that critic. And if you are needing to learn something, learn it. However, there are times when it's just that little self that has forgotten the infinity self, the true self, trying to become the boss with that mind chattering. So take a step back, find that peace. And yoga shows us the way with different pranayama exercises. With pranayama, we become more conscious of our breath, right? And today, the meditation we're going to be doing is a pranayama meditation. We're going to be using the breath and also a position with our hands. We call it a mudra in the the Sanskrit, the traditional yoga language, right? It's mudra. So we have a mudra, we have the breath that's going to go a certain way, and that's the pranayama, the vital force, that prana being harnessed, being guided in a way. And we also have a position for our eyes today in this meditation. This position of the eyes is going to create kind of like a triangle here. And this triangle helps us to connect our sixth sense, our sixth chakra, the energy center that we have between our eyebrows. And that is responsible for our intuition. We're going to be activating that as well today. And one way to activate that is simply when you meditate to focus there. But there is another way also, and that is to focus, if you can, at the tip of the nose with your eyes today. And if it's hard, too hard, or it becomes something that is going to confuse you, then don't worry about it. Just lower your gaze, looking down a little bit without lowering the head. But remember, the focus at the tip of the nose can be in your imagination, okay, also. So, are you ready to begin? Let's do that. Go ahead and see my hands. You're going to close the fingertips, making fists. And then you're going to lower your upper arms, keeping the forearms elevated at about heart level, okay? And placing the thumbs together, right at the heart center, right here, like this. And as I mentioned, the focus at the tip of the nose if you can. All right, so basically here, there is a special breath, that pranayama I had mentioned. And the way this pranayama goes today is you're going to inhale through your nose, exhale completely through your mouth. And then inhale through the mouth. And exhale through the nose. So I'll guide you through it. Right now I was just demonstrating, okay? So that's the idea. Inhale through the nose, exhale completely through the mouth. And then very mindfully, inhale again. You exhale through the mouth, inhale through the mouth. Deeply. And then exhale through the nose. And once you exhale through the nose, you're going to continue by inhaling through the nose again. Exhaling through the mouth. And inhaling through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. So there is a pattern, there is a cycle. And we'll be repeating this for a few minutes, okay? And remember, you are not your thoughts. You are much more than that. You are that self with a capital S. Okay, are you ready? So fists together. And focus at the tip of the nose if you can, or just lower your gaze. And then begin inhaling through the nostrils. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling completely through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling deeply through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling completely through the mouth. Inhaling deeply through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose.
Not sure.
Continue. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale through the mouth. Exhale through the nose. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale mouth. Exhale nose. Inhale nose. mouth. Inhale, mouth. Exhale, nose. Inhale, nose, and continue. Very good. Inhale together with me now. Just inhale. And bring your arms up. Keep them up. Exhale. Inhale once more. Exhale. And inhale one last time. Exhale. Lower your arms. Very good. How do you feel? For me, my mind is calmer and more clear. And I like that. So remember, the mind will follow the breath. The breath is an amazing friend. The mind is a powerful tool, but you are not the mind. You are the infinite self. That you are. And when we concentrate on the breath, when we meditate silently, when we appreciate the beauty in the sky, when we take an inhale deeply, at all those times when we feel grateful, we feel fulfilled, right? Because that's how we nurture that infinite self. That's when we are really being our self with a capital S. And I invite you to do this breath meditation we just did, Cultivating Self-Acceptance, for a few days, maybe 11 days. Maybe you like it so much, you do it for 22 days. Maybe it becomes a life habit. We did it for 3 minutes today. I invite you to, little by little, if you have time, do it for more than 3 minutes, up to 22 minutes. More than that, it's not recommended. But even 11 minutes is fine. 3 minutes made a difference, didn't it? For me, it did, being here with you today and meditating to cultivate that self-acceptance. Because when we do so, it reminds us of what really matters, that we do our best, and that we learn from our mistake when that comes. And that we remember to observe the mind, a powerful tool. But when we observe, we realize, I'm observing this tool working here. But the observer is my true self. It's that S with a capital letter. Thank you so much for joining me today.